Hello, this is our not quite live recording of today's opportunity session. We did have several participants in today's session, but there were also several interruptions that just caused the recording to not be great. So I'm just going to walk through everything that we did during today's session one more time just to kind of give you a cleaner recording to listen to here. So today we're going to talk about some of the newest features that have been released in My Big Campus. And we're going to cover about five, I guess, different areas that they've been working on, some of which were just released last week, some have been out for a few months. So we're going to start with the achievements area. First, I'm just going to go to my own profile so that you can see what I mean by an achievement, what this is. Right here on my wall, my profile page, you can see that I have an achievement up here in this corner. And that's just a little recognition for something that I've done. So if I click on it, it'll tell me what that has been awarded to me for. So this is the 2014 My Big Campus Recognition Award. It's because I completed my coach certification training. So that shows up on my wall. And you know, it seems like whether you're 5 years old or 50 years old, everybody really appreciates just a little recognition and pat on the back for something that they have accomplished. So let me show you how you can award those to your students or to teachers if you're an administrator. So I'm going to go over here to Drive. And right here is the button for our achievements page that's going to have kind of all the tools related to achievements. Before we go there though, I want to point out to you that there is a shortcut if you're coming to create a new achievement that you've never created in the past. You can click here on the new button and click on new achievement, and that'll just be a little bit of a shortcut. But for now, let's go to the achievements page. Here you can see all of the achievements that I have created in the past. You can see the titles and the descriptions and then the icon that I chose for that. So we can click on this button to create a new achievement. I'm going to create this for scoring over 75% on 10 Achieve articles this quarter. Something like that. And then I need to put a description. Actually, let's do this. Let's put this in the description box. And let's just give this a cute little title. High achiever. Okay, and then I need to click on a graphic that I want to use. Now, I have asked My Big Campus to give us the ability to create our own custom badges for these achievements, but so far they have not rolled out any sort of generator that will let you make your own version of this. So I just have to choose from the options that are here, and they do have some nice kind of generic ones that would work for just about anything. But since Achieve is all about reading, I'm going to choose the books here, and I'll click Save. Okay, so now it tells me that my achievement has been successfully created. Now, in order to award that achievement to people, there's a couple different things I can do. First of all, if I'm just awarding it to one specific person, I can go up here and search for that person's name. So let me search for, I'm just going to put in the word sample. I have several sample student and teacher accounts set up. Apparently I've never tried to search for this person. Okay, let me search for a real person because this is not working out for me here. Alright, here, I know this person. We'll stick this on her wall. Okay, so right here it shows that Anna doesn't have any achievements yet. But over here there's a button that says Award Achievement. So I can click on that, and then it'll pop up all of my achievements that I've created that I can then award to Anna. One thing I don't like is it doesn't really tell you what they are. You kind of have to know your own achievements. I know that this is the one I want to give her, so it does tell me once I click on it, it's asking me if I'm sure I want to, and it's telling me what the name of it was right here. So then I can click OK, and now it is awarding that to Anna, and if I go to her page, I will, actually if I refresh the screen right here, I'll be able to see that award on her page. Okay, let me show you another way that you can award these, because if you're awarding an achievement to multiple students at once, that would take you forever to search for everybody and click on the button and add them. So you can do a shortcut that allows you to award the same achievement to lots of people at once. So I'm going to click back to Drive over here, and then I am going to, sorry, my phone's ringing. I'm going to click on Achievements. And I am going to award, I'm going to select the one that I want to award and click on Award Selected. You can also click on this little box, drop down box right here, and click on Award there. It gets you to the same place. So then I can just start typing in people's names. So here's where I know my sample thing is going to turn up right. Okay, so I have a group called Sample Test Group. I can click Add, and this would award it to everybody in that group all at once. Okay, so that's a nice, if you want to give the same award to everybody in a group, you can do that, same achievement. I can also add this to just individuals. Oops, I thought I had deleted that. So I can add it to this sample teacher, and it just puts that person over here on the side. And here's my sample Montezuma. Okay, so I've created this group and this individual that I want to give this achievement to, and then I just click on Award Achievement. Okay, so they've been awarded that, and I could go to their page and see that on their page. So that's just a nice little shortcut that you can do to award multiple different students or an entire group an achievement. You can actually have more than one of these selected and award more than one at the same time to multiple people. So they've created some nice shortcuts for you there. Okay, so achievements are nice. I'd love to see some people using those to just give some positive reinforcement and recognition where it is due. So the next feature I want to show you is that you can now post an announcement to multiple groups at one time. And this is really helpful, especially at the high school, where you may have 3 different sessions of the same class, and you may be needing to post the same announcement to all 3 sessions. You'd probably have them as separate groups in My Big Campus for a number of reasons. And so this is going to let you take a shortcut there. So I'm just going to go back to my sample test group here. And I'm going to go to the announcements section. You just type your announcement. But then right here it says More Groups, and I can click on this, and then I can just create or click on one of my my groups, another group that I want to send this to. I can check off as many of these as I want to have the same announcement posted to. Once I've checked off the groups I want, then I can just click Post. You can attach things to it as well, of course. So I've posted that. Here's where it's showing up in this group, but if I go to my groups and go to one of those other groups that I just sent it to, you'll see that it's there as well, and it shows you that that was just posted. So it just automatically posted it in the announcement section of all the groups that I had checked. So that's a wonderful tool for you to use, save you a few minutes of clicking to get your announcements out to multiple classes all at once. Okay, the next feature we're going to take a look at has to do with discussions. So I'm going to go back to my my other sample group to show you this. I'm going to go to the discussions area, and I'm going to add a new discussion. There are 2 new features that we're going to take a look at when it comes to a discussion thread. So I'm going to give this a title, and I'm totally stealing this from Mrs. Loomis, Rachel Loomis that is, at Rosedale. She has been doing some really amazing discussion threads with her students, and so I am going to copy this from her as a discussion post. I'm just putting a tag of math in there. Okay, so here's her prompt. Well, maybe if I can copy and paste it. Okay, there we go. So she's having them read a quote in this image, and then she's asking them some questions. How does this make you feel? What do you think it means? Do you agree with it? Um, Please post your response and respond to one other classmate as well. Okay, so she's got a nice prompt here. We're going to attach a picture to it, and I saved the picture that she used in my downloads folder here. Let me find it. Good mathematics is not about how many answers you know, it's about how you behave when you don't know. Thought-provoking. She's hitting some high-level blooms here. Okay, now once we've posted our prompt and maybe attached something to it if we want to, we have these two options showing: grading enabled and participation required. I'm going to check grading enabled, and then it's going to give me a maximum score. So if we look up here in her prompt, she's telling them to post their response to 1, 2, 3 different questions. And then they have to respond to another classmate as well. So, maybe we have 1 point per question, 1 point for using complete sentences and correct punctuation, and 1 point for your response. Let's just make this worth 5. Whatever points you want to put in, I don't think there's any limitations there. So I've enabled grading, and I'll tell you what that means and how that works in just a few moments. But I'm actually giving my students a score for completing this discussion thread. Participation required, I'm going to turn that on as well. And what that means is that my students, when they go to the discussion board, they will not be able to see their classmates' postings until they post one of their own. Especially for a question like this, that is a really great feature, because it forces the student to really think about their own thoughts. They're not seeing what all their classmates are writing. They're not, that can really limit their own thinking, because all of a sudden they have in their head what their classmates have said. They're also not going to be able to just copy down what somebody else has already said, or say that I agree with so and so. So that's a really good feature for better discussions. So I'm going to turn that on as well. Now, once they post their response, it'll generate everybody else's responses so that they can then comment on them. So I'm going to save those settings. I'll show you what this looks like from the teacher side. So there aren't any responses yet. Here's the prompt, and here's the image attachment. They can click on that to make it bigger. Right here we have grade participation, and so far there are no posts, but that is showing over here on the side. And then this is what we see at the teacher side. The students don't see this box at all. Okay, so let me flip over to what students would see. Students, let me go over here. I'm signed in as a sample student who received my high achiever badge that I just showed you a minute ago. So it gave the student a notification that they received that. Okay, so let me refresh my screen here. So here's that discussion showing right up in my activity feed, or I could go to my groups and access it from there as well. But I'm going to click on it here. Okay, and let me just copy and paste what one of Rachel's students posted in response to this. Okay, so they're clicking there. I'm going to add the post. Okay, and so their post is there. Now again, I'm on a student view here, so let me go back to what the teacher sees. So back here on my teacher login, here's that comment that the student has posted there. And so it says, I agree with the quote. This quote makes me feel okay if I don't get an answer right. I think that the quote means to just try your best, and even if it does not look good at the start, it will turn out great in the end. So I'm going to see, did that student, I've got to refresh my page here. I have noticed that you do need to do that. See, now it shows grade participation. Montezuma's student has 1 post, and it's giving me a box to put in their score. So I asked them about how it made them feel, what they think it means, and do they agree. So it makes them feel, they answered that. What it means. They didn't really, and he did say he agreed. with the quote. So he's answered all three parts of that. He's used complete sentences. So that's very good. So far, he's got 4 points. If he responds to another student, which was my last requirement, then I'll be able to make that 5. So this is just giving me a place to keep track and to actually issue a grade for this discussion thread. Let me go over here back to the student view. And I'm going to log out of this student and log in as a different student. If I can find our Rosedale Elementary, did I pass it? There it is. Okay, so I'm logging in as a different student. I'm going to that discussion thread, and you can see that even though there is one response, I can't see it because I haven't posted my response yet. And so I'm going to copy and paste another student response here. Let me click Add Post. There we go. So here's my response as signed in as Rosedale student, but now all of a sudden I can see what my classmate has posted as well. Okay, so that's the student end. Let's go back to the teacher side. Now I have the Rosedale student post showing up too. Again, you're probably going to have to refresh your screen in order to see the most current over here. So now I can see the Rosedale student and I can put their score in as well. Okay, so that's what it means to enable grading and to require participation on a discussion thread. The last thing that I want to point out to you is that they have enabled gradebooks in the schoolwork section. There's a pretty elaborate, actually, gradebook system. Honestly, I don't know a lot about it at this point because from my account, you know, it's really hard to test these things out because I don't have a room full of students to complete quizzes and things like that and give me some scores to work with. But I can tell you that you go to grades, and then over here on the side, you have the option to enable the gradebook for a certain group. So you'll click on that, and that will enable it for this group. And then you can go in and set your settings. It's going to give you a chance to say what's an A, a B, a C, a D, and so on and so forth. We don't have time in our webinar today to really go through all the details of this, and I don't even know all the details of this myself yet, but I do want to point you to some good resources for you. If you go to the My Big Campus library and search for Gradebook Setup, you'll find this tech note that will just walk you through. The first part of it is for people like me who have a district admin account. They had to do, I had to do some setup in order to allow you to be able to use the gradebook. But if you scroll on down, you'll get to the teacher section. This will give you a very nice overview of the gradebook features, and then it'll start walking you through how to set things up and what different things mean. So there's screenshots and instructions in here, and that is very helpful. You can also always, on any topic, go over here to the question mark and type in Gradebook or whatever it is you want to know more about. And then it's going to bring you up all their little supporting documents that may answer some of your questions that you may have. There's actually 2 pages worth on the topic of Gradebook. Those support center little help files are very beneficial. If you have any questions about any of the things we've gone over today, please don't hesitate to contact me. I'd love to help you use these tools a little bit better in your classroom.